And that is exciting, transformational. I knew I could do it type of shit, y'all.
You an entrepreneur, I got what you need.
Hey there, my loves. Welcome back to my channel and CPTV, the place where aspiring and current entrepreneurs get the tips, the tools, the strategies, and the step-by-step actionable roadmaps to turn their passions into businesses and their businesses into freedom. If that sounds like you and you like that, make sure you subscribe, because every single Tuesday I am dropping the golden nuggets based off of my 20-year entrepreneurial journey, during which I built multiple 6-figure and 7-figure empires, and I'm going to teach you how to do the exact same thing. So make sure that you subscribe, that you like, and that you share this with other entrepreneurs who are at the beginning of their journeys and want the help and the support and the direction and the clarity that it's really going to take for them to experience their entrepreneurial dreams. I'm Cheryl Perez, or CP, as all my peeps and family call me. And some of the things that I hear from my peeps who are aspiring and new entrepreneurs are, CP, I need someone to walk me through it. I don't really know where to start, and I don't know what my steps should actually be. Or, CP, I feel stuck, overwhelmed, and confused. I need confidence and clarity, and I keep second guessing myself. Well, I hear you. And today I'm going to do the absolute best job that I can at actually giving you the roadmap that you've been asking for. This is the step-by-step system that I teach in my CP Startup Academy, of course, where I get into a lot of details and the nitty-gritty of all of these things. But today I am sharing with you my Start Your Business roadmap, because if you've been lacking the clarity, if you felt challenged and stuck, if you just need someone to walk you through and guide you step by step through everything you're supposed to do in order to start your business, because you know if you get that guidance that you are going to be able to take off like a bat out of hell, then today is the episode for you. So let me take you through the 6 steps to starting your dream business, especially if you are a new, beginning, or aspiring entrepreneur. Let's get to work. Now, guys, obviously, I cannot get into specific details. And you know me, my videos tend to be a little bit longer because I am so focused on giving you as much as possible and bringing as much value as possible. But this topic ain't one for the lighthearted. It's actually a full-fledged online course and coaching program that I implement. And so I want to give you as much as I can, but I also know that we really don't have enough time today. So with that being said, I am giving you the Mac Daddy of all freebies. Underneath this video, I want you to go ahead and access your roadmap. So your startup business, the ultimate roadmap to starting your business, and video guide. This opt-in, this freebie that you're going to get comes along with it a more detailed video training from me on all of the steps that I'm going to walk you through today. So the steps I'm going to give you is going to be a general overview, but you're going to want to make sure that you click that link below in the comments and in the description below so that you can access it and get deep into this in-depth video training that is absolutely free for you to access. So don't forget to grab it. Now let's move on to the steps. Step number 1, get your mind right. Yes, that's always the first step. Mindset is so huge when it comes to being an entrepreneur. You are going to have to learn the art of keeping your own mind in check. And when I talk about getting your mind right, I'm talking about 4 specific things in this particular area. First, you need to have a thorough and in-depth understanding of the commitment that you will need to make and the sacrifices that it's going to take. Everybody who talks about starting a business, unless they are trying to give you some get-rich-quick scheme or some ridiculous notion that will probably never work, they will tell you that it's hard work being an entrepreneur. that never goes away. So the first part of getting your mind right is to understanding that your loyalty to yourself, your commitment to this dream, and the sacrifices that you are going to have to make, you need to know in advance of actually pursuing and launching this business. You also need to make sure that you are absolutely clear on what you are doing, what your business is based around, and what that business idea is, what your business model is. So you've got to gain the clarity. It's a huge piece of getting your mind right. You also have to learn the art of time management, how to do it effectively, and how to do it from an entrepreneurial perspective, because it's a little different if you are working for someone else and managing your time than if you're working for yourself and managing your time. It's actually more difficult to be committed to yourself than oftentimes we are to other folks. So that's a big part of getting your mind right. And then the final piece that I really dive into more in depth in that free video training that I talked about is finding what I call your unique impact proposition. Now, a lot of people call it your USP or your unique service proposition. I call it an impact because I have a CP impact program. But you really want to, as you're getting your mind right, figure out what your blue ocean is. I say blue ocean, if you don't know what I'm referring to, I want you to check out a book called Blue Ocean Strategies. It's amazing. It's recommended. It's one of the books that I recommend inside the Startup Academy for my coachees. And it's a great way to put things in perspective because the market is so full of all kinds of things that are already out there. It's very difficult to come up with something that's completely brand new that no one else is doing. But even if someone else is doing something that you're coming up with as you gain your clarity, you can find your blue ocean in that. And so your unique impact proposition, you have to know what it is, you have to figure out what it is, and you have to be very, very clear in order for you to successfully get through that first step before we launch this business. Step number 2, do your research, y'all, because ignorance ain't bliss when it comes to starting a business. Now, you are going to do more research as you are starting this business than you've probably ever done before in your life. Take it from me. I have a master's degree. I did a freaking thesis that required me to do research. Every single class and every single paper was very research intensive. I was almost an attorney at one point in my life, so research is in my blood. And I can tell you, when I start my business, I'd never experienced research like that type of research. You are going to be doing a lot of research. You're going to be educating yourself. You need to have a concrete knowledge base and be an authority and expert in your business. So step 2 is doing your research in 4 critical areas. And I like to break these down for you. Number 1, you are going to do research and validate your business idea. You have to know what idea is good, which one is valuable, which one is sustainable, and you've got to do your research in order to know. I also say you have to know thy customer. I know I get into customer avatars, finding your dream client. I'm going to link to a couple of different videos up here that talks about that more in depth, but you've got to do your research because you need to know thy customer. Also, know thy market. You've got to do your research in order to know what market you're in, what business models work, what your competitors are doing. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to know what the wheel is, what it looks like, and how to make it roll. And the 4th is to know thy money. Yes, you've got to do the research in order to figure out what this whole business is going to potentially cost you, what you're going to have to put in place in order to deliver the product or service, what you're really going to need. And if you know thy money and you've done your research, you can actually put together an initial budget, which alleviates a lot of stress and will help you set things like launch deadlines, what you can expect to bring in, and all of that stuff. I oftentimes get asked, well, how do I know how much money this business is going to cost me? It's step 2, honey. Do your research because ignorance ain't bliss. Step number 3 in starting your business is to make it official, right? You have to say, I do. Yes, I do. Just like when you're getting married, I do. Why do I use that analogy? Because you are getting married, whether you like it or not.
I don't give a damn who it is, but I'm going to marry somebody today.
Let's get married, baby.
You are marrying your business. Your business, to some degrees, are going to be closer to you. You're going to put more time and effort into it than you do maybe even your current marriage. And so ultimately, you have to make it official. So many people make the mistake of starting a business actually bringing in sales, actually driving revenue, doing all these things, and they're not even legit. And in the end, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. So take the time to do step 3 before you do anything else. You have to make it official. In order to make it official, there's some critical steps in there, and I actually have a whole nother video, a video series that I'll link to up here, which talks specifically about the steps that you need to take in order to make your business official, like picking a name, claiming your brand, getting it registered, setting up your communications and your financials. So I'm going to go ahead and link to that. Check that out for more detail, or again, go ahead and click the link, get your roadmap download, and take that more detailed video training that I'm giving you absolutely for free. But making it official is a critical step, and it's step 3 before we can actually get to that launch. Step 4 in starting your business is to actually set up your basics. And when I say set up your basics, I mean the foundational processes in your business that are going to get you started. There are actually 4 foundational processes that I teach and that I recommend all aspiring entrepreneurs make sure that they've thought through, that you've got documented step by step, so that you can make sure you've got all the pieces and puzzles in place when you finally launch. So step 4 is ultimately critical. A lot of people skip over this, but because I'm so processes and systems oriented, it is a basic part of my Startup Academy and what I teach my clients. And that is the 4 major processes in your organization that you want to have thought through and created. I mean, literally documented before you launch. That's your marketing processes, your sales processes, your service processes, and 2 distinct operational processes: accounts receivables, how you get your money, and accounts payable, how you pay. All of those things are important. Now, there's tons of other processes that you are going to ultimately want to put in place when you are starting your business. And I have got a video series up here that talks about nothing but processes. I'm going to go ahead and link to that. But the 5 basic foundational ones is all we talk about when you're starting your business to alleviate that overwhelm so that you can stop thinking of all the things that you have to do. You only got to figure out how you want to market it, how you want to sell it, how you want to service it, and how you want to collect and pay out your money. All right? That's it. Step number 5 to starting your business and this roadmap. It's the next step, right? It's market it and sell it. Yes, those 2 are critical, obviously. And so many new entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs tell me that their hardest piece of the puzzle for them to actually make some sales or to actually get what they feel is their business started is their marketing and actually getting customers. Well, yes, you've got to learn how to do that. There is no way around it. And step 5 in actually launching your business is really figuring out how you want to market and sell it. So there's some specific areas that I dive more deeply into, again, in that free training that I want you to take advantage of by clicking the link below. But really, it's determining what your marketing mix is going to be. So figuring out how much online, how much word of mouth, what you're going to actually do, getting a word of mouth game plan together so that you can actually follow it and implement it. You have to establish a pretty significant online presence through your social media and through your website. You need to focus on growing your audience through valuable content and doing online digital marketing. And most importantly, and lastly in that area, you need to automate as much of your sales process as possible. Why? Because sales process automation leads to an elevated customer experience. When your customer's experience, starting with your sales process all the way through to when you deliver that product or service, is high, it's going to naturally translate for you into more sales and more money, which is a natural part of your word of mouth game plan. You see how those 2 things connect? So I can't dive in deep into any of those. Obviously, I do in other areas, but that is step number 5, folks. Market it and sell it, focusing on those areas and those steps that I just gave you. And step number 6, yes, y'all, it is time to get to that utopia, and that is launch it. Yes. You're here. You are launching this business that you have been dreaming about and salivating about and thinking about nonstop from the beginning. Now, don't get me wrong. Launching is one major accomplishment and achievement, but it's obviously not the end. But if you've gotten to the point where you've actually launched, you are ready to just implement and make money so that you can quit that big job or that you can actually support your family or whatever it is. So step number 6 is actually launching. Now, there are pieces within that launch that we need to address. And there are things that I want you to make sure that you are thinking about and considering along this road to starting your business. When I say launch, I mean some significant things. 4, actually. First, you have to create a launch plan and strategy. That launch plan is going to include a timeline of exactly when you're going to launch, what you're going to do, what you're going to ultimately achieve, what you're actually launching. All of those things is in your game plan. And in that overall game plan, you're going to include a pre-launch strategy and timeline, an actual launch day, 2 days, week, 2 weeks, however long your launch is actually going to be, a launch day strategy. And the third is a post-launch or ongoing strategy. That's now that it's launched and we've gotten our first couple customers. How do we keep getting those customers? How do we keep moving on? What do I need to do before I officially open the doors or cut the ribbon or launch that website or open up my course or launch my consulting or coaching practice or whatever it is that you're doing? What do I do before I get to that day? What am I actually going to do on that day in order to drive customers and get my first sales? And what am I going to do beyond that day to continue to drive the sales and grow the business? Because starting a business is definitely a marathon. It is not a sprint. And so your step 6, the launch, should include that post-launch strategy as well. But yeah, you've done those 6 steps. I have gotten you from idea phase and getting your mind right and gaining that clarity all the way to opening the doors, cutting the ribbon, returning on that website. And that is exciting, transformational. I knew I could do it type of shit, y'all. Yes. So I need you to make sure you grab that download. I know that I went through all this stuff really quickly. That is why I created a whole separate roadmap and video guide for you. The video guide is a much longer, in-depth training that I want you to make sure that you access. So go ahead, click that link and get it. I'm going to dive more deeply into all of these topics. And then ultimately, when I finally open the doors to the Startup Academy, you can also join the waitlist for that and get access to it, where I really dive deep. And in 90 days, you will actually be able to launch your business. And I'm very excited about the launch of that new program. So I told you there is an easy to follow roadmap out there. You can get it all done without the overwhelm, without that paralyzing feeling and lack of focus, because I just gave it to you. Just take it day by day, step by step. Take my hand. I'm going to jump with you right off that cliff because I love a good challenge. And before you know it, you will be growing a business that you love and on that road to freedom. I am so excited to be on this path with you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. You got a lot of value out of it. Thank you for watching. Please make sure that you smash that like button, subscribe, hit the bell to get more and more in-depth. Grab that download. And until next week's my love, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Stay safe. Mwah. Love you. Bye.